What's up guys, welcome back. So I'm sitting here thinking, trying to figure out what I want to make for you guys, and then it hit me. I haven't had really good tacos in a long time. So we're gonna fix that today. We're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna make some shredded crispy beef tacos for you guys. But before we get into the recipe, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right guys, meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. First things first, let's talk about the beef that we're using. This is a 2.5 pound chuck roast. Beautiful piece of meat. We're gonna go ahead and cut it into bite-sized pieces. That way we can sear it up. Make sure we get some seasoning in there. And then we're gonna sear it off and place it in the pressure cooker. Now you can use short rib for this, but chuck roast is a little bit cheaper and it'll get the job done just as good. That's about the size that you want right there. Beautiful marbling throughout the meat. That's fat, which is flavor, as we all know. Very important. If you want to do some trimming, you can, but personally, for tacos, I'm not going to do a whole lot of work. Might trim a little bit of that off. But there we go. That's what we want to see right there. 2.5 pounds of chuck roast, cubed up as even as you can get it. All right, so now it's time to add some flavor to the party. We're going down with some olive oil or avocado oil, a couple tablespoons of that, and the juice of 2 limes. So just squeeze the juice on out. It's gonna help to tenderize the meat. And then lime juice just pairs beautifully with tacos anyway, so we're getting the party started the right way. Save some of these limes for your margarita that you should have while you're preparing this. Wish I had one right now. Then for the seasoning, we're getting started with the all-purpose. That's just gonna cover the bases. You use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is. Then we're going down with some chili powder. You use ancho or chipotle, whatever you got. Plain old chili powder will work too. About a teaspoon of that. I'm also gonna use a dash of cinnamon, which might throw you off, but you gotta trust me. A little beef bouillon powder to beef up the beef flavor. Of course, we gotta use some ground cumin. And last but not least, a little smoked paprika. Now at this point, you want to get in there with your hand and just really make sure that you get that chuck roast covered evenly in all that flavor. You can let this hang out overnight. I would say at least an hour or so to really let those seasonings penetrate the meat. The only thing you might want to add here is just a pinch of salt, because my AP seasoning is low sodium, so you want to get a little salt in there. It's 2.5 pounds of meat, so it can hold up to the seasoning that we're using today. A couple pinches of salt. Just work all that in, cover it, and pop that in the refrigerator.
And this episode is sponsored by Factor. You can get fresh, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep when you sign up with Factor. Factor's chef-created meals are fresh, never frozen, and designed by dietitians to ensure every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutrition. So now you can skip all that meal prepping, no more dishes, no more unhealthy fast food. Factor offers the most convenient way to eat well while eating right. And that's exactly what I love the most about Factor is the convenience. The meals arrive pre-prepared and ready to eat in 2 minutes or less. So use my link below or go to go.factor75.com and use the code FACTOR37090 for 50% off your first box.
Get your skillet nice and warm, working over medium-high heat, couple tablespoons of avocado oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. You use cast iron for this, a Dutch oven, whatever you got. So make sure it gets nice and hot, and then we're gonna add our meat to sear it, get a nice crust, lock in the flavor. Now the key here, guys, is to get a beautiful sear, nice dark color. It's gonna add flavor, texture, and it's gonna look nice. That, my friends, is what you're looking for. So try to get that on all sides. All right, so once your meat is seared beautifully, we're gonna go ahead and add it to our Instapot. Leaving behind all that flavor. Don't worry, it's not gonna be left behind for long. You guys know the drill, no flavor left behind. All right, so at this point, we went ahead and turned the heat off. I'm going in with my onions, garlic, poblano or serrano, whatever pepper you can find at the store. Working over medium-low heat now because we don't want this to burn up. We just want to kind of toast those veggies a little bit. Get off some of the fond off the bottom of the skillet. And then we're going to add more flavor to the situation any second. Just want to get this started, get the onions to start to tenderize and release some of that flavor along with the garlic and the peppers. After a couple minutes, I'm going in with about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. That's just gonna balance the flavors a little bit, kind of offset some of the spice that we're about to add. Make sure that the flavor profile is nice and balanced. Next up, we're going in with about a tablespoon of worst word in the world sauce, followed by about a 1/2 can of chipotle peppers. We're gonna use all of the juice and only half of the peppers. Unless you're a savage and you want this to be super spicy, you can add all of them in there. But you guys know I'm kind of a punk, so we're gonna use half. Come on, baby, there we go. Give that a good mix. Your house is gonna be smelling incredible right now. We're gonna add some fresh herbs to the mixture, rosemary and thyme. Just let that come to a gentle simmer. Then we're gonna add our beef stock and then add that to the pressure cooker. Then all of that's going to roll on high pressure for about 50 minutes or until the beef can pull apart with your fingers or a fork. Touch more seasoning. Just AP and cumin. A little bit more beef bouillon since our beef stock is low sodium. Toss in a couple bay leaves because why the hell not? I wish you guys could smell this. All right, so in goes the beef broth. We're gonna need a nice full quart, maybe a 1/4, depending on how much chuck roast you're using. Bring that to a simmer, and then we're gonna pour that right over our beef in the Instapot. All right, so once it reaches a gentle simmer like you see right here, let that roll for 3 to 5 minutes, just to make sure everything's coming together, and then into the pressure cooker. Good. Yep. All right, my friends, fresh out of the pressure cooker and as tender as a mother's love. Look at that. I mean, literally very little pressure applied and that's just falling right apart. That's what you want to see. We saved some of the juice that we're going to add back to this in just a second after I finish burning my fingers off. But just look how tender that is. Oh man, that is shredded beef. 50 minutes in the pressure cooker gets the job done. So let's go ahead and shred this up and then we'll add the sauce. All right guys, so for the crispy part of the crispy beef tacos, we're gonna add a little bit of avocado oil or vegetable oil to the bottom of our skillet, shallow fry these tortillas until they're golden brown and crispy, and then build our taco with And now it's time to plate this up, my friends. We got a nice cheesy, beefy situation going on, nice crispy tortillas. You can use corn or flour here. Flour is what we had at the house. Hit it with a little bit of cilantro, a little lime juice. You got yourselves a nice Taco Tuesday. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for a taste test, but before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, moment of truth. we go.